So today I'm going to be installing the IKEA Algot system. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. So this is a 32-inch width space, and I went ahead and got the highest length. These are supposed to be 77 inches, I believe. So I'm building a small system. So far these things seem symmetric on either side. I was looking for something that might hook in the way that the Closetmaids do. It doesn't look like they do, but I'll let you know shortly. This is going to be the top rail. And it's supposed to suspend off of this. So I'm just getting an estimate of where things are going to go. These are 31-inch shelves, approximately. They're going to be the ones on the top. I have two of them. So they're going to be here and here. And I've got these 15-inch shelves. Two of them are going to make a long row like this in between them. So something I want to show before I focus the camera up top where I'm doing some of the work is I'm trying to make sure that the wall mounts clear the molding down at the ground. That's about 3 inches high, and I need to mark myself a line for where I put the suspension rail. So you can see I've gone ahead and put the wall mount. It's sitting on top of the molding. You can't see it right now, but I did show you where the molding was. I've left the cap that attaches to the wall mount up there. So as long as I'm higher than this, it's going to clear the molding. It should be fine. So I'm going to give it an extra little bit of distance. I'm actually using, this was the cap for one of the shelf rails or shelf brackets. I'm just using this. It's about 1/2 inch. All I'm doing is making a mark, and I know that this itself isn't enough. You can probably see that pencil mark. It's going to get covered up, no big deal. I don't have a T-square, but I do have some of this backboard that I use for a different project from Home Depot. It's square, but I'm going to check with a bubble level anyway after I'm done. But this should give me a nice guiding line. They mark a line. And this is where my suspension rail is going to follow. And I'm going to use my bubble level on the line for a second just to see. It's perfect. Okay, I figured out where I want to line this up. I'm going to go ahead and start a couple starter holes. Just finished putting the first screw in. This thing didn't come with screws, so I'm using my own. Okay, this part's kind of tough. So each one of the wall mounts comes with caps, so you need to take the cap off. Put that to the side. This is the cap for the top. Then with the suspension mount, there comes 3 sets of these. This one's plastic, this one's metal. And you have to put these in the top of this assembly here, and it's going to be what allows this whole thing to hook into the suspension. Now it's important that this piece, the groove, when you're looking at it like this, be facing you, because that's the part that's going to turn and hook into the suspension mount. And the cap is the same idea. So taking this is the groove I was talking about. Place it like this, turn up, then it catches inside here. This cap fits nicely on there, and then this goes in. Now this is the part that's not nearly as nice as what Closetmaid does. To me, this is pretty bad. And I've already tried connecting this a few times. It's kind of tricky, but it can be done. So I'll demonstrate that in a second. So I've already put in the suspension reel. And now I'm doing what is the tricky part, and that is to seat this the way I described. And if you've ever set up a Closetmaid shelf, this part's easy, but it is not in this case. Closer so you can see how it all connects together. This part here is the flat one. That's the one that goes down. This curved part is on top. That metal little hinged part is biting it like this, and so is the cap. Pretty complicated for something like that. Closetmaid makes the metal pieces have the groove already, so you don't have to do all this. Now granted, this is arguably better looking, but it's a pain. Alright, I'm putting in the second rail. Really need to get it tilted up. And I'm not going to drill these in yet, because I have to make sure they're the right space and that they're level. Okay, I'm connecting the third rail towards the end, because in my case this is how long the shelves are. So you can see I can slide this around. This one's easier because there's not a screw near there. These, they're bumping around because the screw there, this one's sort of at the end. There's a screw that sort of bumps against that plastic shoe. And that's one of the things that sort of annoys me about this. But yeah, I switched to a wider angle so you could see more clearly what was going on. Now I'm going to make sure the spacing is good before I put any holes to secure this, as far as starter holes and screwing it in. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure that the outsides are plumb first, and I'm going to use the shelves themselves to help me do that. So it can't take a lot of weight right now because it's only supported here, but it can certainly take the weight of the shelves with nothing on them. So these are the shelf brackets that come with the thinnest shelf. I don't remember the exact size, but you need to take off the rubber coating on it. And the metal will bend so that it'll drop into place. I believe that they're the same. So yeah, I double checked. So these are the 31-inch width shelves, and it's the 7 1/8 depth. So it comes with a little cardboard on it, so I'm going to take that off. So I'm just going to connect these, not for being permanent, but so that I can make sure that this stuff is plumb, or the right distance actually, because I haven't even confirmed that these things will work. I'm doing this with you real time, so if I screw up, you'll see it. I'll come in closer with the camera so you can see how these things all connect together. I know it's hard to see from that angle. Yeah, so right now they're a little far, which is actually good. I can come in a little on either side. And now it's hooked in. Double level here. It definitely doesn't seem right. Yeah, it's all off. I have to figure out what happened here. I have a feeling on one side it just didn't, yeah, it doesn't look like it dropped all the way in. Okay, I figured it out. These things are just a lot harder to catch on the groove than it seems that it should be. So, yeah, so far, unlike the way IKEA stuff is usually built, I'm actually not as happy with this stuff here. I mean, you know, I'm still gonna use it. But it definitely has some weaknesses. Okay, this one's level. I'm gonna put in another shelf. Repeat the same process again. I'll put it a sufficient distance so I can be satisfied that I have a good square. Okay, I put the second shelf on, as you can see. This one's level. This one is level. And now, check here. And I could use an adjustment. So here's where I take advantage of the shelves there. Okay. Good. So the two sides are level. I'll worry about the middle afterwards because the middle one I'll stabilize after I anchor these in. So I want to show you what I was talking about with the way that the grooves catch. You should be able to see it. I'll make it catch here. Yeah. So this part squeezes and it catches it into these. It'll go in above and then drop. And what I was finding with at least one of the pieces was it wasn't dropping. This one is. This one's okay. But they don't all go that smoothly, so just be careful. Okay, the second shelf is on. I've checked to make sure it's level. Last piece, I'm gonna go ahead just for sanity check, put one on the end here, bridge it across. And that's actually not too different from the configuration I'm doing anyway. Problem. Interesting. This is not turning out the way I thought. I was wrong about these shelf sizes. Okay. To me, this is actually kind of a design flaw on their parts, but okay, I get it. I cannot bridge these two across the middle and get the same length as this shelf. You just saw it. Not gonna happen. Not a big deal. All I have to do is get one more of these and I'm fine. But yeah, okay. So can't use this one right now. Gonna make the video longer, sorry, but I think since I got caught by it, maybe it's better to leave it on. I adjusted this middle one and moved it over. You can see it's not half and half like I thought it was going to be. So I'm squaring it up with the shorter shelves on the right side because, just check it's square. It's fine. This is the side that I needed to have different lengths on because we're going to put a recycling station under here. So that's fine. I just need to know that I wasn't going to be able to have multiple shelves on this side of this length unless I put another rail in there. And I'm not sure how easy that would be to do. I don't think I have the distance to bridge that, but this is something that's not explained very well on that website. And I've looked at it over and over again. I'm sure a lot of you have too, trying to figure out what pieces you need to go get. So at least I made the mistake for you. I went ahead and used these over here, and I've used my current recycling bin as a spacer. So you may recall in the beginning, when we started putting the shelf brackets on anyway, they had a little cover on them, so I'm going to put them back on, which makes them much better looking. And they snap into place. This part's a little tricky. Yep. Okay, I'm going to bring you in closer to see. I went ahead and finished covering these things up. This is what it looks like, top to bottom. There it is. I'll add some more stuff later, but you get the idea.